When God is about to help you, everything around you begins to shift. The atmosphere changes. The silence of your struggle starts to vibrate with unseen movement. You can't explain it, but deep inside, you feel that something divine is about to happen. Your spirit senses what your eyes cannot yet see. And though the battle feels long and the night feels endless, the hand of God is already moving behind the veil. When God is about to help you, the first thing He does is stir your soul with restlessness. You begin to feel uncomfortable in places that once felt normal. People who used to fit your life begin to drift away. Doors you thought you needed begin to close. And in that confusion, you wonder, what is happening to me? But that's not a sign of loss. It's a sign of divine preparation. God is rearranging your surroundings to make room for His glory. He is disconnecting you from what was so He can connect you to what will be. When God is about to help you, He first gets your attention. He disrupts your comfort. He shakes your foundations, not to destroy you, but to rebuild you stronger. The pain you are feeling is not punishment. It is preparation. Every tear that falls is watering the soil of your next miracle. Every delay is a hidden mercy protecting you from something that would have broken you. God never leaves His chosen ones without a reason for their suffering. You may not understand it now, but when His plan unfolds, you will look back and say, if that had not happened, I wouldn't have reached here. The very thing you are calling a setback may be the platform God is building for your breakthrough. When God is about to help you, He allows confusion before clarity. He lets you face impossibilities before He reveals His power. Look at your life right now. If everything seems uncertain, unstable, and unpredictable, rejoice. That is the divine pattern before deliverance. God always moves in silence before He speaks in glory. You might be praying and hearing nothing, but silence from God is never absence. It's a sign that He is working deeply within the unseen. When you feel most forgotten, that's when you're being most remembered. When you feel surrounded by darkness, that's when the light of God is preparing to break forth. The delay is not denial, it's design. When God is about to help you, He doesn't just change your situation. He changes you. Because sometimes the problem is not what's happening around you, but what's happening within you. God's help always begins with transformation. He adjusts your perspective before He adjusts your reality. He teaches you to walk by faith, not by sight. He lets your plans fail so you can finally surrender to His. He strips away your pride so your heart can receive His direction. You thought you needed more strength, but God knew you needed more surrender. The moment you stop fighting for control and start trusting in His will, the help begins to manifest. When God is about to help you, He may first let people walk away from you. Because sometimes God's greatest gift is not who He sends, but who He removes. Those who misunderstood you, rejected you, or betrayed you were not sent to destroy you. They were sent to expose what could no longer stay attached to you. Their departure was protection. God saw conversations you never heard and intentions you could not discern. And though you wept when they left, heaven rejoiced because your path became lighter. The next level of your purpose requires spiritual isolation. Don't curse the separation. It's sacred. God takes you to hidden places to prepare you for holy assignments. When God is about to help you, He may first lead you through the wilderness. The wilderness is not punishment, it's process. It's the place where faith is refined, pride is broken, and dependence on God becomes unshakable. In the wilderness, you learn to trust God when you can't trace Him. You learn to rely on His word when nothing else makes sense. And though it feels dry, it's in the wilderness where your roots grow deepest. God hides His help in hardship. He trains your spirit to hear His voice in silence, to move when no one else believes, to stand when no one else understands. The wilderness is where ordinary people become vessels of divine power. When God is about to help you, He sends signs, but not always the ones you expect. Sometimes the sign is the storm. Sometimes the sign is the ending of what you thought would last forever. Sometimes the sign is a closed door that leaves you heartbroken. But if you look closely, those moments are God's fingerprints. He is guiding you through detours that lead to destiny. You prayed for promotion, but God knew the current environment couldn't handle your growth. You asked for peace, but He first removed the people causing your chaos. You begged for a new beginning, but He had to end what was silently destroying you. What looks like rejection is often divine redirection. When God is about to help you, you start losing control. And that's exactly how He saves you. Because as long as you think you are managing everything, you won't let Him move freely. God doesn't take the wheel until you stop trying to steer your own destiny. He waits until your strength fails, until your wisdom runs out, until your plans collapse. Because that's when your heart becomes still enough to listen. The greatest miracles happen not when you push harder, but when you surrender deeper. God doesn't need your performance, He needs your trust. When you finally say, God, I can't do this anymore, heaven replies, now I will. When God is about to help you, He allows the enemy to rise so that his victory can be seen. The opposition you face is not a sign that you're losing, but a confirmation that divine help is near. The bigger the battle, the greater the breakthrough. Every attack is proof that something powerful is on its way. The enemy never fights what isn't threatening. If you're being attacked on all sides, it's because you're about to be elevated on all levels. God allows the storm so that you can see His strength. He lets the sea rise so He can part it. He lets the fire burn so He can walk with you through it. When God is about to help you, He aligns time, people, and opportunities in ways you cannot imagine. Suddenly, things that didn't make sense start to come together. Delays begin to turn into divine appointments. You meet the right person at the right moment. A door you never knew existed begins to open. You realize that everything you lost was leading you to everything you're meant to have. What you thought was random was actually orchestrated. What looked like chaos was actually divine order. When God steps in, coincidences become confirmations. When God is about to help you, He gives you unusual peace. It's not the peace that comes when everything is fixed. It's the peace that comes when everything is still broken, but you trust Him anyway. It's the peace that defies logic. You don't know how things will work out, yet deep inside, you know they will. That peace is not weakness. It's evidence that God is working. People around you will wonder why you are so calm while everything is falling apart, but they don't understand that you've shifted from panic to purpose. You've learned that if God is for you, nothing can stand against you. When God is about to help you, He gives you spiritual boldness. You stop begging and start believing. You stop fearing the unknown and start walking by faith. You speak what you want to see before it happens, because you know that life and death are in the power of the tongue. God's help manifests through your faith declarations. The words you speak become the reality you walk in. You can't speak defeat and expect victory. You can't dwell in doubt and expect deliverance. When God is about to move, He stirs your mouth to align with His promises. When God is about to help you, He exposes truth. He reveals what was hidden. Suddenly the mask comes off people. The secrets behind your struggle are unveiled. You begin to see why things didn't work, why people turned cold, why doors closed. God reveals it not to hurt you, but to heal you. He exposes the lies so He can anchor you in truth. He lets you see who's real, who's fake, and who's faithful. Because His help can't come through confusion. Clarity must precede the blessing. God brings you revelation before manifestation. When God is about to help you, He restores what was stolen. Not just materially, but emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. He restores your confidence, your peace, your joy, your hope. What the enemy used to shame you, God uses to elevate you. Every pain becomes purpose. Every wound becomes wisdom. Every delay becomes deliverance. You may have lost much, but when God restores, He multiplies. You won't just get back what you had. You'll receive more than what you expected. When God is about to help you, your faith will be tested to its limit. He will let you stand at the edge of impossibility. He will let the last option fail, the last person leave, and the last hope fade. Why? Because He wants to show you that He alone is your source. When every human door closes, the divine door opens. When all plans collapse, His purpose begins. God will take you to the point of no return just to prove that His help doesn't need human approval. And when He moves, no one can stop it. When God is about to help you, you'll notice how things you once chased start chasing you. Blessings begin to locate you. Favor begins to find you. You don't struggle the same way anymore because divine alignment replaces human effort. The energy that once went into worrying now goes into worship. You stop trying to make things happen and you start trusting that what's meant for you will never miss you. When God is about to help you, He fills your heart with divine confidence, not arrogance, but assurance. You no longer doubt whether you will make it. You know you will, because He promised to be your helper. That assurance becomes your strength. You walk differently. You speak differently. You pray differently. The world may see nothing changing, but your spirit knows it's already done. When God is about to help you, He uses unexpected vessels. Help comes from where you least expect it. A stranger, a closed opportunity, a forgotten contact. God turns it all into channels of blessing. That's why you must never limit how He can move. His methods are mysterious, but His timing is perfect. You don't need to understand it. You only need to trust it. When God is about to help you, even your enemies become instruments of your elevation. The same people who tried to pull you down will witness your rise. The same tongues that cursed, you will confess your strength. God doesn't remove your enemies. He keeps them alive long enough to see what He does in your life. Because His help is not hidden. It's public. He doesn't just rescue you. He showcases you as a testimony of His faithfulness. When God is about to help you, you begin to feel divine strength in your weakness. The burden becomes lighter though. Nothing externally has changed. You wake up with hope again. You feel peace where there was once panic. That's how you know help is near. You may not see the full miracle yet, but you feel the shift. The energy around your life begins to change. The weight of despair lifts. The atmosphere of faith returns. That is the presence of divine assistance beginning to manifest. When God is about to help you, you must stay still. Don't panic. Don't rush. Don't force anything. Divine help requires divine timing. If you move too soon, you'll interfere with His plan. If you wait with faith, you'll see His perfection. The greatest help from God doesn't come through haste. It comes through patience. Wait in peace, not in worry. Because those who wait upon God will never be disappointed. When God is about to help you, your spirit will know before your mind understands. You'll feel drawn to prayer more than usual. You'll feel a pull towards silence. You'll feel like isolating yourself from distractions. That's not depression. That's divine invitation. God is drawing you closer because He's about to speak instructions for your next season. Your breakthrough begins with obedience. His help follows your surrender. When God is about to help you, nothing and no one can stop it. Not your past, not your enemies, not your mistakes. Because His help is based on mercy, not merit. You don't earn it, you receive it. You don't chase it, you align with it. And when it comes suddenly. One moment of divine help can erase years of struggle. One touch of favor can rewrite your entire story. One decision from heaven can change every outcome on earth. When God is about to help you, all you must do is believe. Even when everything around you says no, let your heart say yes. Because faith is the bridge between despair and deliverance. Speak faith, think faith, live faith. God's help flows through faith. The moment you believe that He is able, the impossible begins to move toward you. When God is about to help you, He begins to awaken something deep within your soul. It is not always a loud or dramatic experience. It is often quiet, sacred, and deeply personal. You begin to sense a stirring inside, a divine awareness that your life is not over, that the story is not finished, and that the pain you endured has a purpose. This awakening is not born from human motivation. It is born from divine intention. God whispers into your spirit, reminding you that He has not forgotten you, that your waiting was not wasted, and that His timing is flawless. He begins to lift you from spiritual sleep, calling you to rise above fear, above failure, above the voice of defeat. When God awakens your spirit, It is a sign that His help is near. When God is about to help you, He starts aligning your heart with His will. The truth is, many times we ask for things that our hearts are not ready to handle. We want blessings without the discipline, abundance without the responsibility, power without the purity. But God knows that if He gives you the promise before preparing you, the promise could destroy you. So He first shapes your heart, corrects your motives, and humbles your desires. He begins to teach you that real help from God is not about getting everything you want. It's about becoming everything He designed you to be. His help is not limited to fixing your problems. It's about transforming your soul. Because when your heart is right, everything around you begins to align with divine order. When God is about to help you, He replaces confusion with revelation. He starts revealing the hidden meaning behind your pain, the unseen purpose behind your struggles, and the silent reasons for your waiting. You begin to see that every closed door had protection written all over it. Every unanswered prayer had mercy written within it. What once felt like abandonment now begins to feel like divine strategy. You start realizing that God was not ignoring you. He was guarding you. There are battles you never had to fight because God fought them before you even knew they existed. His silence was not neglect, it was defense. His delay was not punishment, it was preservation. When God is about to help you, He sends inner strength before outer change. Many people look for signs in the world around them, but the real sign comes within. Suddenly, the things that used to break you no longer have the same power. The insults that used to pierce your heart now roll off your spirit like rain from stone. You stop reacting to negativity because you've tapped into divine stability. That inner calmness is not natural, it's supernatural. It's the peace that comes from knowing that you are in God's hands. The more you trust Him, the stronger you become. The more you surrender, the more unstoppable you are. And when God strengthens you internally, no external force can shake you. When God is about to help you, He causes your environment to shift in ways you cannot predict. Opportunities start appearing where there were none. Resources begin to flow from unexpected places. People are moved by unseen forces to favor you. It's as if the entire universe bends to accommodate God's will for your life. That's what happens when divine timing meets divine favor. But remember this, the shift often feels chaotic before it feels clear. Because when God rearranges your surroundings, He breaks old patterns to make room for new blessings. You may not understand it at first, but soon you'll see that everything had to change for your destiny to unfold. When God is about to help you, He teaches you to walk by faith when your senses fail you. He will not always show you the full picture, because faith does not need sight. It needs trust. You may not know how, you may not know when, but deep down, you will know who. That awareness becomes your anchor. Faith is not pretending everything is fine. Faith is declaring that even when everything seems broken, God is still in control. It is standing on invisible ground with unshakable confidence. When your eyes see chaos, but your spirit feels peace, that is proof that God's hand is guiding you. When God is about to help you, Your patience will be tested like never before. He will let you reach the point where you want to give up, not to break you, but to prove how close you are to breakthrough. It is always darkest before dawn, and the reason is simple. God allows the night to grow thick so that His light will be undeniable. He wants you to know that when deliverance comes, it was not by luck or by people, but by His power alone. So when everything inside you wants to quit, remind yourself you are closer to help than you think. Every moment of endurance is a seed of victory waiting to sprout. When God is about to help you, He stirs your prayer life. He puts a fire in your spirit that refuses to stay silent. You find yourself praying not out of routine, but out of desperation. Your words carry power. Your prayers carry authority. You stop asking casually and start declaring boldly. That's because prayer is the bridge through which divine help travels. When you pray with faith, heaven listens. When you call on God with sincerity, things begin to move in realms you cannot see. Prayer doesn't just change your circumstances. It changes your perception, it recharges your soul, and it prepares you for divine release. When God is about to help you, He restores your identity. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as victorious. You stop calling yourself broken and start declaring yourself chosen. God does not help the weak to remain weak. He helps the weak to make them strong. He removes the labels that life has placed upon you. The names they called you no longer define you. The failures of your past no longer control you. God begins to rewrite the story of who you are, reminding you that you are not the result of your mistakes, but the product of His mercy. That realization alone is the beginning of help. When God is about to help you, He activates divine connections. He sends people who carry keys to unlock new doors in your life. Some of them will guide you, some will support you, and some will speak a word that shifts your entire direction. These are not ordinary people. They are instruments of destiny. And just as God sends helpers, He also removes hindrances. Do not mourn over who left, rejoice over who is coming. Every person who exited your life made space for someone anointed to enter. God never subtracts without the intention to multiply. When God is about to help you, He teaches you the difference between delay and denial. Many times you think you are being ignored, but in truth, you are being timed. God does not work by the clock of men. He works by the calendar of eternity. You may feel late, but in divine order you are always on time. Every delay is strategic. Every pause is divine choreography. The blessing that is delayed is being developed. When it finally arrives, it will be greater than what you imagined and last longer than what you prayed for. When God is about to help you, He humbles your heart so that your blessing does not destroy you. Pride blocks the flow of divine help, but humility opens heaven's doors. The moment you admit that you cannot do it alone, divine power begins to move on your behalf. Humility attracts help. God lifts the one who bows sincerely. He raises the one who kneels in dependence. The higher you go, the more humble you must become, for humility is the foundation upon which greatness stands secure. When God is about to help you, even what was meant to harm you begins to work for your good. The betrayals, the rejections, the disappointments, all of them become ingredients in a divine recipe. What the enemy designed to destroy you becomes the very force that propels you into destiny. God specializes in turning pain into purpose and ashes into beauty. Every wound becomes wisdom, every loss becomes lesson, and every ending becomes a new beginning. When God is about to help you, He puts you in situations where only His power can deliver you. Not to embarrass you, but to reveal His sovereignty. He wants the world to see that your story is not the result of luck, but of divine intervention. He lets you face the impossible, so that when it happens, everyone knows only God could have done it. And when that help comes, it comes suddenly. One moment you are surrounded by despair, and the next everything shifts. Because when divine help is released, it doesn't need process, it moves with power. When God is about to help you, you start feeling divine conviction. He begins to speak to your conscience. He shows you the small compromises that block big blessings. He reveals habits, attitudes, and behaviors that keep His help from flowing freely. This is not condemnation, it is correction. God cleanses your vessel before He fills it. He removes what is toxic so He can pour in what is pure. The moment you respond with repentance and obedience, divine help flows unhindered. Purity of heart is the gateway to divine intervention. When God is about to help you, He gives you clarity of purpose. Confusion disappears. You start to understand why you were born, what your gifts mean, and how your pain has shaped your purpose. You realize that nothing in your life has been wasted. Not the tears, not the heartbreaks, not the lonely seasons. Everything was part of a divine design to prepare you for this very moment. God uses broken pieces to build powerful stories. The cracks in your life are not flaws, they are openings through which His light shines. When God is about to help you, He magnifies your faith through tests. Every trial becomes an opportunity to witness His power. Every difficulty becomes a stage for divine demonstration. And when you overcome, you don't just rise for yourself, you rise as a testimony. Your victory becomes proof that God still delivers, that He still provides, that He still heals, that He still raises those who refuse to give up. The more you are tested, the greater the evidence of His faithfulness will be in your life. When God is about to help you, He places peace in your heart that no storm can shake. The world may rage, circumstances may change, but your inner stillness remains. Because when you truly know that God is in control, fear loses its authority, anxiety loses its voice. You stop running from problems and start walking through them with confidence. You stop saying, "What if I fail?" and start declaring, "God cannot fail." That peace becomes your armor, your shield, your silent strength. When God is about to help you, He brings closure to old chapters. He ends relationships that no longer serve your growth. He removes attachments that drain your energy. He frees you from the past that has held your emotions captive. Closure is not rejection, it is liberation. God closes one door not to punish you, but to protect the promise waiting behind the next one. Stop reopening what He has already sealed. Let go of what was so that you can receive what will be. When God is about to help you, He multiplies what's in your hand. You may think you have little, a small talent, a small idea, a small opportunity. But God's help always begins with what you already have. He never asks for what you don't possess. He anoints what you do. What seems insignificant in your eyes is powerful in His. Once His blessing touches it, it expands beyond imagination. That is why you must never underestimate small beginnings, because divine help turns the small into the mighty. When God is about to help you, your story begins to inspire others. People who watched you struggle begin to see your strength. Those who doubted your faith begin to respect your perseverance. Your journey becomes a message of hope. That is what divine help does. It doesn't just change your situation, it changes, lives through you. You become a vessel of light in a dark world, a living testimony that God lifts, restores, and transforms those who trust Him completely. And now, as we come to the end of this divine reflection, let this truth settle deep into your heart. When God is about to help you, no force on earth, no whisper of doubt, no scheme of darkness can stand in His way. The same God who created the heavens and commands the stars also commands the timing of your breakthrough. You may not see the signs yet. You may not understand how, but when God steps in, everything changes. When God moves, even the impossible must bow down. When God speaks, storms are silenced, and every closed door begins to tremble at the sound of His authority. Many people give up right before the hand of God moves. They quit on the edge of victory, surrendering to fear when they were one prayer away from a miracle. Don't let that be you. Hold your faith when everything in you feels like giving up. Keep standing when it seems like no one is standing with you. God does not need a crowd to help you. He only needs your faith. One person fully surrendered to the will of God can move mountains, open heavens, and change generations. When God is about to help you, He will allow situations that seem unbearable, not because He wants to break you, but because He wants to break what was holding you back. He will let the weight press upon you just enough to awaken your strength. He will let you walk through a valley so you'll learn to depend on His light. You see, the moments that feel like the end are often the beginning of His greatest work in you. Pain becomes the birthplace of power. Silence becomes the seed of revelation. Delay becomes the foundation of divine acceleration. So when you feel forgotten, remember, God never forgets His own. When you feel overlooked, remember, God's eyes are always upon you. When you feel weak, remember, His power is made perfect in the quiet endurance of your faith. The waiting season is not wasted. It's sacred. It's the place where God shapes your character, strengthens your spirit, and prepares the stage for His glory to be revealed through you. So hold on. Keep believing. Keep walking. For when God is about to help you, nothing and no one can stop it. The help of God is not delayed. It's perfectly timed. The hand of God is not weak. It's mighty beyond comprehension. The love of God is not distant. It's closer than your breath. The same power that sustains the universe is already at work in your life. You may not see it yet, but soon the help of God will manifest in such a way that everyone will know it was only God. And when that happens, give Him all the glory. Not to people, not to luck, not to your own strength, but to God alone. For every victory belongs to Him. Every deliverance is His work, and every blessing is His signature upon your life. The help of God is coming. The help of God is certain. The help of God is powerful. And the help of God, when it arrives, will change everything.